guys, it's going on with Deku, it's it. Sorry I've not been uploading, had schoolwork to do, stuff like that. Anyway, I'm sorry I've not been uploading like these parts, because there's a lot more detail than I usually would do in these. Anyway, if you want to check out the recap, go to the first episode, first part. Anyway, let's get into it. So now, Deku has been discharged from the hospital. He's been there for around a week. And he's getting to know Slender Man. But not as much as he wanted to. Trust me, he would want to be known properly by him. Oh, anyway, let's just carry on. Oh, these people, hang on. so annoying. Anyway, Deku has been discharged from the hospital, and he remembers he needs to go. His UA's in 10 months. Then Deku has to. Deku's thinking of a training regiment, and he does it online school because he doesn't want to go back to his old school because, thanks to that place, it made him go to the forest. And he just wants to stay away from Bakugo from now on. He realises he's just a jerk. Anyway, this is Karen's story. Deku is walking past Deku Beach, and he's thinking it'd be a great place to work out. So the next day, Deku comes out of his apartment and he goes to Deku Beach. And he starts working out. But he's trying to train his tentacles because someone told him that they could rip stuff out the ground. Like, the max they could lift is probably trees that get torn out the ground. But Deku's thinking, yeah, hopefully this should work. He activates the tentacles, being told by Slenderman how to do properly. So just get 1 or 2, like he sprouts 6 out of his back, and they all start lifting the massive piles of trash. It pretty much is. Deku's actually quite surprised about this. Slenderman said they can only lift trees, but I guess they're different for everyone who uses them. Oh, anyway, Deku is just doing push-ups, but the tentacles in his back are just lifting trash at the same time. So when Deku goes up, the tentacles go up. When he goes down, they go down. It's very confusing, but for the next 4 months, Deku has been training with his tentacles and getting a good physical body. I say it's like half the amount in the anime, because Slenderman is already really physically strong, and he is actually quite fast. He prefers the Teleport or Slender Walk, people would say. So guys, I'm speaking quite fast, but it's got to be a quick video. School's coming up. Anyway, so for those past 4 months, Deku's been training with his tentacles, but for the other 4 months, he's been doing the same things, but he's getting a good bond with Slenderman. So Deku can turn can turn into Slenderman a lot more. His skin's actually pale now, and he doesn't really like to wear anything else except black t-shirts, or at least like a black tie or something. As long as it's black or white, one of the two. Well, mostly black though. So Deku's was warned by Slenderman that this might happen, but he's not really too concerned about his fashion taste. So for the last 2 months, Deku is properly just lifting and lifting. Like, it's nothing to him anymore. Deku could have finished cleaning the beach, but he just rather work on Slenderman. Anyway, Deku, at the end of the day, he gets so bored, he just crushes them, just compacts it into one little bowl, all the trash, and just throws it out to sea. Because he knows they can come back here eventually. Anyway, Deku is just walking home, and he falls asleep. The next morning, he hears an alarm. Beep, 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 beep. He checks the time. He says, "Oh, I'm going to be late to UA. Entrance exam." Deku falls out of bed and he rushes to the door. Inko says, "Bye, honey." So guys, with Deku's tentacles, he leaps over building to building, swinging. Everyone on the streets are just saying, "What's that?" Then this is cut to some students just eating some food. They come out they come out of the restaurant. They look up. They see Deku, literally like Spider-Man in it with the tentacles. Deku's just swinging back and forth with it, and Deku just slingshots himself past all the buildings that you land at UA doing like a superhero landing. And everyone just looks at Deku like, whoa. Deku just stands up. Then he starts walking. And then Deku sees a girl with brown hair and a yellow bag. And Deku's just thinking, oh well. But then he realizes she's gonna fall. Deku grabs one of his tentacles out and he grabs the back of her bag, pulling her back up. Deku walks past her saying, hey, people watch it. It's a bad time, the trip. It brings bad luck on your first day. Well, anyway, Deku just, nervous because it's still the first time that he talked to a girl. Deku just walks off. She just says, thank you, I guess. Anyway, Deku just starts walking off into the entrance exam and he sits down. And Bakugo looks at Deku saying, have we met? Deku says, no, we have not. With a very pale and emotionless voice. Bakugo in his head just thinking, there must be some kid from another class, because people from my school might have sit next to you. So now, Deku just watching and he's thinking out loud. And Ida says the things to President Mike, saying, you're not going to include this robot, blah blah blah. Just the same, but then he points towards Deku and says, be quiet up there. And Deku just says, I'm not the one shouting, pal, I'm only muttering. So if I'm correct, you're making more noise. So you shut it and let President Mike explain. Ida, feeling like he just got bested, he sits down resentfully. President Mike says, thank you. Then he starts explaining the robots, the 1, 2, 3, and the 0 pointer. But he says it's just an obstacle, really. You shouldn't really battle it. There's no point battling a big hero. They'll nod, and then it's the written exam, and Deku is aced it because this guy's he's got Slender Man. He's been alive for millennia, more than a millennia. So now Deku aces the test. No, he corrects the test. He walks up to President Mike after 3 minutes and he hands it to him. He says, what do I get? 142 points. Ooh. Everyone's just dumbfounded. Then he just hands the thing President Mike again. President Mike passes it back. He also says, whoa kid, you're pale. You okay? Yeah, just my quirk, part of my quirk at least. So where do I go for the physical test? Through those doors, kid. He points towards the locker rooms. Thanks. He goes into the locker rooms, gets changed and waits for everyone. An hour later, everyone starts to come through. He says, what took you guys so long? Deku's just... 10 minutes later, everyone's just in there. Deku's stretching. And he's slowly putting his black clothes on. Like he's got the green suit, but it's like the black version of it. And Deku is just looking around. He sees it's that four-eyed guy going towards me. And he says he's not doing anything, but he's just stretching. He stretches his arms. Then he's about to grab him, but Deku's tentacles stop it, grabbing his arm. Deku says, you have a good reason for trying to touch me, pal. He says, oh, whoa, I only came and said sorry. The tentacles let go. He says, oh, sorry, being a little edgy earlier. Yeah, I'm sorry for saying those things about you. He says, same. Friends? Friends. They both shake hands. Man, this test looks easy, hard, I guess. What, do you know what it's about? Yeah, I kind of peeked out the top earlier and I saw massive robots and stuff. He says, Deku says, recommend you go for the small one. He says, easiest. He says, thanks for the tip. President Mike says, 3, 2, 1, go! The gates open up slightly, but Deku with this blitzes through everyone and just goes under the gate, sliding on his knees. The first two robots try to hit Deku, but he gets tentacles whip out, grabbing their head and squishing them, picking up their bodies, throwing them towards the other robots. It just started and Deku's just got around 14 points. And then Deku with his tentacles start ripping the robot's legs off and start swinging them around like the nunchucks. Halfway through the entrance exam, and Deku's already got around 490 points. But then Deku hears a bit more time go past, and he's got around 742 points. But then he hears a scream, and he sees it's a girl. And I'm about to get squished by a massive robot. And Deku has enhanced hearing, because Slenderman mostly hears with his, looks around and sees with his ears. So Deku just blitzes, and he's about to get crushed, but Deku with his arms sends his arms out, and he shoves something to the robot's foot, and his tentacles are with it. Three of them are on the ground pushing against the floor, and 3 of them are pushing up against the robot. It's like a wench. No, not like a wench. It's like prying it so it doesn't go down. He says, "Ida!" Ida looks over, seeing Deku holding up the robot. "Get her out of here!" Ida wants to save this move, but it says, "Reciprocal burst!" Blasting towards Deku and the girl, or Raka. Deku knows. He said, "Get her out of it." He said, "Okay, but what about you? Forget about me, just get her out." He says, "Go!" Okay, he says, "Okay." He pries the rock off her, and he grabs it and he runs off. But Deku, on the other hand, his arms gave in through the weight, and he gets squished, you could say. But he just looks down to him. "I'm sorry." But then he looks back up, seeing the robot's foot's getting pried back up. He sees Deku, but something's wrong. His face has gotten a lot wider. His muscles are starting to bulk out even more, and he's getting taller. The tentacles are getting stronger. They're pushing the 0 pointer up. And all they can see now is a black suit. A white says Deku. And there's tentacles, and his arms are all ripped. And the legs are stronger than ever. Deku slams one of his feet into the ground, and he starts prying and lifting the 0 pointer. And I don't mean like he's lifting the foot, he's lifting the whole thing up. And Deku, with all of his strength, chucks him into a nearby building, slowly, practically dismantling the 0 pointer. Deku, enraged, he screams, and everyone just covers their ears to how loud it was. But then Deku calms down. His muscles start to bulk down a lot. The tentacles slowly start to extend back to his back. Deku starts coughed up a little bit of blood. Then he goes to his knee. Ida charges towards Deku, grabbing him. He says, "Are you okay?" "Yeah." "Thanks for the help." He says, "You're no problem." Then, I can't remember her name. It's been so long since I've watched My Hero Academia. Recovery girl comes over to Deku and says, "You okay, little one?" He says, "Kind of, but I've got a bad rib." She kisses Deku on the cheek, and he feels all good, but he feels a little tired of it. Deku doesn't really feel tiredness, because this one's guys, he only eats souls. He can last him months, and then anyway, she kisses little Rucka's leg, and Deku's walking home. But before Deku can go, Ida runs up to Deku saying, "Thanks." He says, "What do you mean? You made me help. That's what a hero's meant to do, right?" He says, "Yeah, I guess. Anyway, nice meeting you, Ida. What was your last name?" "Tenya Ida." "Izuku Midoriya." They shake hands and they part ways. "See you next week at UA." "Counting on it." Deku goes home, and he says to his mother that, "I think I made it in." A week, 2 days pass, and he gets a letter from UA. He opens it and he sees the hologram of All Might. It says, "Hello, young man." Deku just crushes the image. But then he just pulls out a note which has a paper version of what All Might's going to say. he reads it saying, "Oh, you got the first and strongest one in UA entrance exam," and then he sees that he is the top and he broke mostly all the records, even almost records. He says, "Wow," including he got hero points by saving the girl. Well, technically he got 30 points. It got split in half because he actually saved her, but Deku stopped her getting squished. They both got 30 points more, so Deku's like 772. He's got the same amount, just like 30 points more. And everyone else is just the same in points. Then Deku is so filled up with joy, he goes over to his mum and hugs her. And then he says, "Mum, I got in. That was the best notes entrance exam." She hugs it. "It's amazing. I'll get your favourite tea on. I'll make your favourite food." And he says, "Thanks, Mum." And guys, this will be the end of part 2. Sorry it's a short video, but I got a school to get to soon. Anyway, I'm sorry I've not been uploading, but I can assure you we're going to have a lot more videos come up soon. Bye.